Yeah.
I just feel like they have no identity. Like when I think of them, I just think that they're like all the same. Like no opinions, no beliefs, just except one umbrella.
A lot of public school thinks we're all fags.
Yeah, and just because the school is really strict and tight and lame, that we're lame.
Yeah.
Private school girls.
I learned something new.
Girls that put out.
Everyone kind of makes the joke, oh, if you go to a public school, you're going to get beat up. Like people.
I'd have to stick with that. Everyone's quite snobbish and stuff.
Yeah, it's more like, it's kind of the whole, I don't know, when people think private schools, they think like a really like proper image, like all these little children with their glasses, walking around with their books, their math textbook, and studying at lunch and everything.
It's just like girls are really catty and they're all rich. It's just like a huge competition to see who can get more, who can do more, and it's like weird. It's like they're from another planet.
I don't know if it would be more so of a popularity contest than a public school.
And then when people think, I don't know, like real, like in the private, public schools, they think like people getting thrown into lockers, stuffed into like waste paper baskets, and it's like the two polar opposites is kind of like this typical stereotype.
I mean, they're just different. Like they just don't wear uniforms. That's all. And there's more strict education here, I guess. I wouldn't, but it's like government, non-government. So it's going to be different either way you look at it, I guess.
I also think that when people think private schools, they think like kind of stuck up, like snobbish people. And I mean, obviously there are a couple people in our school who are like that. But for the most part, I mean, I don't know, we're just normal people.
Yeah. They're not like us. No matter how much we would like to believe we're all equal, they're not like us. They're different. Wealthy people think differently, act differently, and behave differently than we
do. Money. A lot of money.
Tuition that's more than university. They pay like $20,000, and then, like university's cheaper than that. So it's pretty stupid.
Really? I think of rich, snobby people, I guess.
Yeah. Everybody that's there is there because somebody paid for them to go. So I guess
not because they wanted.
Yeah.
They're kind of just giving it to them.
My parents constantly play the "we pay money for you to go to school" card. So if I don't do work, then they're like, "Oh, well, I guess we're just gonna."
But I think with private school, you're just like having those rich kids, and then it's like a battle of who's richer.
Where all the people are like just rich people who can throw away the money into education.
How it works is at the beginning of grade 10, everyone's assigned like a laptop, and you buy it, and it's yours to keep after high school. But you have to get a certain type.
Like she doesn't even have a math textbook. Like she has it on the computer, which is good because I mean
you don't have to carry it around.
So you just carry that around.
Yeah. So honestly, we have quite a few like less books.
It used to be that just grade 10s and 11s and 12s had laptops in our school, but last year they started having all the way to grade 6s started with laptops.
Do you have internet? Like, what?
Yeah.
You go like? Are you allowed to go on the internet when you're in
Yeah.
class?
Oh.
You could just go on Facebook.
You can't. They try and block Facebook, but there's
try
ways around it and stuff.
But like, we're not telling you guys.
But like sites are blocked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I think people think we're like really like spoiled because like we get like everything we want and stuff, but like we like fundraise and stuff, and like we try to do like a lot for the community.
I've had friends who have taught at Upper Canada College and places like that, and were astounded by the insight into the the spoiled conditions of Canada's elite, so forth. You're dealing with the elite. I mean, the powered elite of the country. And it can get quite disgusting.
No. Did you guys use the grad lounge? Be careful. Yeah, so this is our hangout area.
Oh, they just missed it. That's awkward.
Maddie, don't leave! Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's kind of but basically this is our haven. I bus to school.
And then like a lot of the people have nice cars, like not just cars but nice cars.
Yeah. I drive. I have a car actually.
Whoa.
I know. I feel terrible.
The bus.
Yeah, I take the school bus.
Like, they have bus routes, like school buses, I guess, that they've hired for the year that come and they have a specific route, and then there's a stop near you and you just try to walk over.
Yeah. My friend, her like first car, like she got her N, and their first car is like a Mazda 3. Yeah. And my mom just bought herself a Mazda 3, and she's like, oh, like my car is so great. And then she was talking to my friend's mom, and the mom's like, oh yeah, we just got an easy beginner car, just a Mazda 3. And my mom's like, oh my god.
Oh, I take the bus in the morning and back home.
I take the bus home, but I drive to school in the morning.
Yeah, my parents drive.
Yeah, I take the bus and SkyTrain most of the time.
There's pretty much no one who walks, considering it's like off a highway exit.
Biked? Yeah. Oh, you're close. Yeah. It's like half an hour away from my house, or like 25 minutes. So.
10 minutes. By car.
By car, yeah. Oh yeah, not biking.
Different. Like I had a private school girl, and it was her first time being on a bus, and it was like grade 9. She was like, oh, like how do you do this? And she didn't know how to like put her little like thing in the bus thing, and you're like, act like, oh my god.
The biggest misconception about York House, and I think private schools in general, is that we kind of stick to ourselves in our own kind of private school environment. A lot of us love having friends from public schools and just kind of broadening our horizons with friends and stuff like that. And so yeah, we're not like snobby at all. We love making friends.
I think like every second weekend there's at least like something, I don't know, larger, like at least until now, like something bigger where people get together and there's like a party or something. So I mean, it's not too bad, it's just a bit restricted, but when
we try.
We try.
Keep a social scene. Yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad. Yeah, we still have parties.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like I go home every day and do like 3 hours of homework.
When we do party, we party.
Every Friday there's something going on. We always do things. We go to movies, parties. Halloween was fun. I mean, like I think, and everyone's friends, so it's really
So there is like a party scene. It's not just.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
We have good times too.
With West Bend and not so much Collingwood, but.
I think that there's like not a few, like quite, not all, but some people in the grade that like they have more friends outside of school, and then there's some people that just have friends in the school.
I think it's a lot easier to become socially capable, like to relate to the world in a public school, because everybody is different. Everybody, different social classes, different like everything, right? But whereas in elementary or private schools, it is structured, right? So everybody's the same. It's smaller, so you get to know less people, and it's just kind of your world's kind of shut off right there, or seems that way.
Yeah, and I think the difference is that like you still hang out with the same amount of people. It's just here you're forced to hang out with people that you might not hang out with at like public school, because there's just so much more choice.
It's like less selection.
Too is that your individuality is kind of taken away with when I think of the uniforms that they have to wear.
Because I don't know, I feel that it's like they have such a structure to their schools that it's nearly impossible for them to be creative and become somebody different than the same as everybody else.
Hair must be relatively natural. Makeup wise, nothing too heavy. Earrings, technically, you have to have I think the loop has to be no bigger than your pinky or something like that. But buttons can't get any lower than this. The kilt does have a restriction. Sometimes it used to be if you put your hands down, it have to be a few inches below your middle finger. Can't have heels over 1 inch. They have to be closed toe, black.
I think the philosophy behind wearing uniform is that it makes people, in private schools in general, is it makes people equal, so that you don't see who is the wealthy rich and who are the middle class, able to afford it, or who are in between. Because you could have quite a fashion show.
I think a lot of people don't like them.
I want to wear nail polish.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally no uniform, but
I can't imagine going to a private school and not wearing a uniform.
It's also easier for the students to get up in the morning and come to school, to be honest.
Honestly, I have to get up at 6:30 in the morning, so I don't really want to be thinking about what I'm going to be wearing.
So then in the morning when I get to save like 5 to 10 minutes, like not deciding what I have to wear, I mean, I'm deciding between like a long sleeve polo or a short sleeve polo. And so basically it saves a lot of time and a lot of sleep. So yeah, I kind of love the uniform.
Probably like a better education. You get a better education if you went to a private school because there's more focus on the individual student.
That people from private schools would maybe get a better education.
Like my grades from when I went from so those couple weeks in grade 8, I was doing passably well, sure, just a regular kind of average student, and then I go to Crofton and they kind of warned me. They were like, oh, your grades might drop, but it was whoosh, they just went way up. The private schools are in a lot of competition with each other, and because their business pretty much is based solely on how they do, because if they're not doing well academically, people aren't going to send their kids to those schools. So I think they have a lot of pressure to make sure the kids are getting good grades.
Kids who come to a school like Mulgrave are kids who are looking to go on to university.
Well, like York House, I think they boast basically everyone who wants to get into university and wants to gets into the university of their choice and things like that. So there definitely is kind of a you definitely are going to university kind of. I mean, we are a university prep school.
I feel like I have to do well just because, for my future, right? So.
And so everyone here is here for an education. There's no one here who doesn't want to better themselves in their future and in their life.
Here at York House, we're really focused on our academics. We have an academic schedule, what we want to do in university, things like that, so it's very targeted.
I don't know, I find that our school is sometimes almost too focused on academics.
They took all the couches out of our school because it's not conducive to a learning atmosphere, which I think is just stupid.
You kind of have to be excellent or leave.
In some public schools, you have people there who don't try because they don't really care. Here, everyone cares about their grades and cares about where they're kind of going.
And so I guess the common misconception with public schools is that there isn't that kind of focus.
I think they have more opportunities to get a better education here, but if you went to public school, you could. If you worked hard enough, you could. It's just easier here.
It's easier to.
Yeah, it's more not handed to you, but it's in front of you. It's not
accessible. As much as I love it, it's I just when you need that extra help
and also here you can come to any of your teachers and be like, look, I honestly don't understand this, and they're not going to blow you off. They're going to be like, okay, well, what don't you understand? And they're going to work with you until you understand.
You go to a private, exclusive, a moneyed school, then the kids have tremendous advantage.
I think the money kind of brings in the grades. It's if you go here, it's just the teachers, they kind of put pressure on you to get good grades.
I also think that one of the problems with private education is that when you take away, or when people leave the public education system and move into the private education system, you lose advocates for public education. Public education becomes weaker.
648,630 students are enrolled in grades K to 12 in BC. The majority of these students attend publicly funded schools. We are enrolled in classes of 30. We use torn and tattered textbooks, and teachers struggle to find the time for each individual student. Our schools are culturally, socio-economically, and academically diverse. Money is the only thing that stands in the way of our school system's progress. Private schools are evidence of the potential that every school has. They have enough funding to provide their students with up-to-date technology, small class sizes, and state-of-the-art facilities. It's only the wealthy and high-achieving academic students that get the opportunity to attend these schools. Imagine a society where every student, public or private, has equal opportunity.
Wow.
Mr. Grenier, give them an A.